United States of America and Israel are considered as two of the closest allies in the world. However, there is a report of rift being shaped up between these two countries as far as the goals and objective of Iran war is concerned. Now, is this split is a part of a strategy, or there definitely is a geopolitical rift between these nations? Let us try to decode and understand this in more detail, what actually is going on behind the scenes. Now, first of all, if you look at the background of this entire conflict, we know that Iran war today has entered the third week. Continuously, Iran, United States of America, Israel are bombarding each other's territory, each other's bases, and in this also many Gulf countries have been caught up. So, in West Asia, tension is rising not only from the security perspective but also from the perspective of energy security, and economic implications are going to be there. Now, in this regard, South Pars strike is where it seems that a geopolitical split is finally visible between the United States of America and Israel. So what actually happened is that if you look at the map here, to the north of Qatar, you will find a gas field that is called as South Pars, and it is referred by the name of North Field by the Qatar as such. This entire area, as you can see, is located between Iran and Qatar and is believed to have one of the largest gas reserves, natural gas reserves in the entire world. So during this war, Israel decided to strike South Pars gas field as it's shared by Iran Qatar, and this has resulted into a lot of criticism by many countries in this area because it could easily choke the gas supply not only in the region but at the global scale. It is because of this strike Trump has to come up, and he then distanced himself, and also in United States of America he said that US was not aware of such strikes being carried out by Israel. He denied any such kind of prior knowledge. He also clarified in the post that US at all was not involved in this particular strike. Qatar also was uninformed. No further attacks would take place by Israel as such. If you look at the post here, he has stated that Israel, he also to some extent has tried to defend the action taken by Israel by saying that it has acted out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East region as such. A relatively a small section of the whole has been hit. He's also trying to downplay the extent of damage, the nature of attack here. US knew nothing. He is firmly distancing the United States of America and his administration from this particular attack. Plus, he also has stated that Qatar was not at all involved here, and Iran should not retaliate. Iran should not target the Qatar gas field. So that is overall the we can say that post or the masses that comes from Donald Trump. So this post itself is a very good big sign of some sort of disagreement that seems to be taking shape between both of the nations. Trump has reportedly even warned Netanyahu that he should not strike the gas and oil infrastructure for even if it belongs to Iran as such. And this is coming at the time when Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary of the United States of America, has stated that he would maybe in future try to de-sanction or unsanction the Iranian oil, at least those which is floating in the sea. Floating in the sea means which is being carried by the ships and are stranded here and there, to ensure that the global oil and gas supply is not disrupted to the extent. Alliances thus appears to have been definitely strained, and the reason behind this is the divergence in military objective. When Iran war began, continuously we see a message coming from US administration that this is going to be a short war. It is not going to be a dragged on war, at least not for several weeks, as where we have entered into this stage. As such, US mainly wanted to destroy and target the missile launching systems of Iran. It also wanted to destroy Iranian navy, as we have seen the attack was carried out on several Iranian naval assets as such. And at the same time, US also stated that United States cannot see Iran becoming a nuclear capable state. On the other hand, Israel was largely targeting the leadership. One of the major objectives that seems Israel is now largely looking forward to is completely getting rid of the current regime led by Ayatollahs in Iran as such, and regime change is now the Israel's prime objective. That's why they are not even shying from dragging the war as far as possible unless and until they achieve the result. While on the other hand, Americans are trying to bring a close or end to this particular war. Officially also to the confirmation, we can see such kind of indication being given by US administration. In the recent Senate Intelligence Committee meeting, US Intelligence Chief Directorate, we can say Director of National Intelligence, see also has acknowledged the differences between the goals and objectives between US and Israel as far as the Iran war is concerned. Tulsi Gabbard stated that operational focus of both countries diverges here, and this has been reaffirmed that US want to end the war as soon as possible as most of its stated military objectives has been achieved. Israel, on the other hand, seems hell-bent on dragging the war as to achieve its larger objective. White House also has given the insight Trump's want early ends believes objective achieved. Israel prefers extended conflict because it would be favorable for them. Now the question is that where is strategy divide? So we can see US definitely wants some sort of stability and avoid long war. And the reason behind this is simple. This area where the war and confrontation is taking place is rich in oil and gas reserves. And interestingly, it is not only the Iranian oil and gas assets which are being targeted, but Iran also has used its swarm of drones and the ballistic missile capabilities to attack many of the refineries, oil production facilities spread all across the Gulf countries, whether it is Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and most recently in Qatar as such. This and also the Strait of Hormuz, if you club them together, the closure of Strait of Hormuz, the disruption in the oil supply through that particular area, which allows transportation of more than 20-25% of oil and gas, that definitely would mean a global economic uncertainties. And United States of America, its domestic economy is also not that resilient as of now that it can bear the brunt of such crisis. The oil and gas prices have steeply risen in the last couple of weeks from $71 per barrel to more than $113 to $15 per barrel, and the American consumers are now facing the pinch. Now, in the midterm elections are going to be held in the United States of America very soon, and Republican parties do not want the election to benefit Democrats only because of the issue of war as such. Israel, on the other hand, is not so much bothered as far as the energy crisis and global economy is concerned. It wants to eliminate regime as soon as possible, as fast as possible, and to get rid of all the, we can say, the supporters of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei as such, and the current leader Mustafa Khamenei as well. Accept of the conflict stretching even for long term is something that Israeli leadership is okay with. Global economic impact, Brent crude we have discussed, has risen to a highest value in the last couple of years. Market instability, inflation risk is rising, and it will engulf not only developing countries but developed countries such as US, Canada, and Western Europe as well. US domestic political pressures is also we are seeing United States President Donald Trump has to bear, because even in his alliance, which is called as MAGA, Make America Great Again alliance, they are not happy the way how war is being waged by Trump administration. That also would be the reason why US is not happy with the way how Israel is leading the conflict and steering the conflict. Conclusions, if you have to make, we have to understand that definitely because of this difference in objective, because of the different concerns, there is a visible crack now visible in the alliance between US and Israel. War objectives definitely seems to be different, not only unofficially but even official statements have confirmed it, and there is a possibility that US would try to de-escalate against the Israeli objective of escalating the war in this particular area. But one thing we have to be clear, that even though there are visible cracks in the alliance, even though US and Israel diverges as far as their war objective is concerned, it does not mean US would stop supporting Israel as such. And at least in public, at least officially, both countries would never agree that there is some differences between them, and they would keep on helping each other out. That's all about this particular video. If you like the video, please share it with friends as a subscribe channel for more content. Thank you very much.